So, we look at the various types of chassis sections in the ladder frame chassis. You can have a uniform cross-section chassis, which you are seeing in most of the cases in India. Now the chassis is from the front to the rear, it is of same section. Of course, it's not useful because sometimes at some point the bending moment is larger. At the end, the bending moments may not be larger. It's a waste of material and also adds to the weight of the vehicle. If you have a uniform cross-section throughout, you can see the branches of a tree. It is like your arm. Where there is bending, it is thick. But as the branch goes further, it becomes thin. Okay, because when there is some load here, the bending moment is too huge here. You have a very thick branch here. So wherever at the points where it is actually around the axle, where there is too much of bending, there you need to have very strong sections. So I think uniform sections doesn't really make sense. So variable cross sections definitely make sense because you need to reduce the weight of the vehicle. Because every time you accelerate and slow down, you are trying to move against weight. You are trying to accelerate a mass against slowing down a mass. So that means to accelerate larger vehicles, you need more fuel. So in that way, so you can have uniform cross sections. So you can see here around this point where you got axles is thick, and at the ends you can make it thin. So these are the longitudinal members, which is called the main member, which runs from the front to the rear. These are actually the cross members. Now the cross members actually prevent this main members from actually going like this. Of course, this can be easily twisted because they have all these members in a single plane. So they are not really good in twisting. Anyway, the people really don't bother because most of the chassis, most of the trucks and the buses, that's usually in the case of trucks, the front cabin is different and the loading area is built separately. So the cabin and the loading area again slightly get twisted. So they will hear some noises, so they are there to make money, not to live in comfort. Okay, so there it is okay. So usually you have different types of sections in the trucks. Usually the section that I have found in trucks is C section, because in C section usually this box type of sections are not easy to maintain because it can rust inside and you will not even notice. But the C sections are open, you can notice and you can paint, you can actually attach something to it, you can actually bolt from both the sides if you have got some attachments. But these box sections are it's very difficult to maintain. The same way the tubular sections. I sections are good, but the only problem with this I section is that you can't place an I section inside I section. But you can place a C section inside a C section. Like this one C and one smaller C like this. If you want to make this chassis strong, you can have one more C here